The Middle East is a region shaped by centuries of conflict, shifting alliances and enduring tensions that have left deep scars on its landscape and its people. Among the most volatile and consequential rivalries is the one between Iran and Israel, a contest that has defined regional security for decades and continues to escalate. For years, this conflict simmered in the shadows, fought through proxies, covert operations, cyber attacks, and a steady stream of threats and counter-threats. But now, the possibility of direct confrontation feels more real than ever, as both sides prepare for scenarios that could ignite a wider war. Both nations are locked in a relentless arms race, pouring resources into upgrading their militaries and seeking any edge that could tip the balance in their favor. Air power sits at the very heart of this contest, with control of the skies seen as the ultimate guarantor of national security and regional influence. Israel's dominance in the skies is central to its security doctrine, enabling it to project power, deter adversaries, and strike far beyond its borders when necessary. For Iran, this overwhelming Israeli air superiority is a glaring vulnerability, one that limits its options and exposes it to potential attack. Its aging air force, hampered by decades of sanctions and outdated technology, is no match for Israel's cutting-edge fleet of Western and domestically upgraded jets. Desperate to close the gap and modernize its capabilities, Iran is now eyeing China's Chengdu J-10C Vigorous Dragon fighter jet, a move that could transform its air force overnight. The prospect of Iran acquiring these advanced jets has sent shockwaves through Jerusalem, Washington, and Gulf capitals, raising urgent questions about the future balance of power. Such a deal would represent Iran's biggest air force upgrade in decades, signaling not only a shift toward Beijing but also a bold new military posture in the region. The implications go far beyond hardware. This potential acquisition could reshape the region's strategic balance, spark new arms races, and alter the calculations of every major player. Would the J-10C finally allow Iran to challenge Israeli air operations, or would it simply escalate the technological race even further? How would Gulf states already wary of Iran's ambitions respond to this dramatic shift in military capability? The story of Iran's J-10C ambitions is not just about fighter jets, it's about the future of Middle Eastern security, the evolving web of alliances, and China's growing influence on the global stage. The Israeli Air Force is a symbol of national strength, built on a legacy of daring operations and technological edge. Its fleet, customized F-15S, F-16S, and the stealthy F-35 Meyadir, gives Israel unmatched air superiority. The F-35's stealth and sensor fusion allow it to penetrate defended airspace and gather intelligence with near impunity. This overwhelming advantage is a constant worry for Iran, whose air defenses are outdated and vulnerable. In any conflict, Israel could strike Iran's critical sites with devastating effect. Iran's vulnerability fuels its urgent search for a counterbalance. The J-10C represents a potential answer, but Israel's air power remains a formidable deterrent. The imbalance leaves Iran exposed, driving its quest for modern fighters. The stakes are high. Air superiority could decide the outcome of any future clash. Iran's search for modern fighters has led it to China's Chengdu J-10C. Sanctions and unreliable Russian supplies have left China as Iran's best option. The J-10C is a 4.5-generation multi-role fighter boasting advanced agility, AESA radar, and a modern cockpit. Its electronic warfare suite and data links give pilots a critical edge in contested airspace. The jet's PL-15 long-range missile, guided by its own radar, poses a serious threat to high-value targets. For ground attack, it can carry precision-guided bombs and anti-ship missiles. The J-10C's versatility makes it a true multi-role platform, capable of air defense and strike missions. For Iran, it's a generational leap over its current fleet. The J-10C could finally give Iran a credible deterrent in the skies. Its arrival would mark a turning point in the region's aerial balance. Iran's air force is a relic, flying F-14S, F-4S, and F-5S from the 1970s. Keeping these jets operational is a logistical nightmare, and they're hopelessly outclassed by regional rivals. Without modern fighters, Iran's airspace is exposed, and its strategic assets are at risk. The J-10C offers a lifeline, a leap in technology and capability. Its radar and long-range missiles would force adversaries to rethink their approach. As a multi-role fighter, it could strike across the Gulf, giving Iran new offensive options. Acquiring the J-10C would signal Iran's determination to modernize and assert itself. It's not just about prestige, it's a national security imperative. The J-10C could change the game for Iran's military posture. The J-10C and Israel's F-35 represent not just different generations of fighter jets, but also two distinct philosophies in aerial warfare. Each aircraft is a product of its nation's unique approach to technology, strategy, and the demands of modern combat. The F-35 is a true stealth fighter, meticulously engineered to evade detection by enemy radars and strike targets before they even know it's there. Its low observable design, advanced coatings, and internal weapons bays make it nearly invisible to conventional tracking systems. The J-10C, while highly advanced and equipped with modern avionics, lacks the full stealth capabilities of the F-35. In a direct radar duel, this means the J-10C would likely be detected first, putting it at a significant disadvantage in long-range engagements. The F-35's cutting-edge sensors and data fusion systems give Israeli pilots a decisive edge, acting as a battlefield quarterback that coordinates information from multiple sources. This networked advantage allows for faster, smarter decisions in the heat of battle. In a direct clash, the F-35's first look, first shot advantage is overwhelming. It can engage threats from beyond visual range, often before the enemy even realizes it's under attack, making it a formidable opponent in any air-to-air scenario. However, Iran would not rely solely on its J-10Cs. These jets would be integrated into a dense network of ground-based radars and missile batteries, creating a layered air defense system designed to detect, track, and engage intruding aircraft. In close combat, the J-10C's agility, advanced missiles, and skilled pilots could still pose a real threat to any adversary. Its maneuverability and modern weaponry make it dangerous in a dogfight, especially if it can close the distance. Iran's primary goal isn't to achieve air superiority, but rather to deny the skies to its enemies. By raising the risks and costs for Israeli operations, Iran hopes to deter or disrupt any potential airstrikes. The presence of J-10Cs would force Israel to rethink its tactics, adapt its strike plans, and allocate more resources to countering this new threat. Every mission would become more complex and dangerous. Even if the J-10C is technically outmatched by the F-35, its arrival would dramatically increase the risks for any attacking force. The skies over Iran would become a far more hazardous place for Israeli pilots. With the introduction of the J-10C, the strategic calculus in the region would shift overnight, sending ripples through military planning rooms and political circles alike. The balance of power in the Middle East would become even more unpredictable. Iran and China's military partnership dates back decades, forged in times of isolation and necessity. China supplied Iran during the Iran-Iraq War and later helped with missile technology. Their relationship, once secretive, is now more open, marked by joint exercises and a 25-year strategic agreement. For China, Iran offers a foothold in the Middle East and a way to counter U.S. influence. The J-10C sale would be a milestone, China's most advanced arms transfer to Iran yet. It would cement Beijing's role as a major regional arms supplier. For Iran, it's proof that it's not as isolated as its adversaries hope. The deal would deepen military ties and signal a new era of cooperation. The J-10C is more than a jet, it's a symbol of shifting alliances. Buying advanced jets is only the first step. Operating them is a far greater challenge. The journey from acquisition to actual combat readiness is filled with obstacles that go far beyond the initial purchase. Iranian pilots used to vintage cockpits and analog controls would need extensive retraining for the J-10C's modern systems. Mastering digital avionics, fly-by-wire controls, and advanced weapon interfaces is a steep learning curve, demanding months, if not years, of dedicated training and adaptation. Building the necessary maintenance infrastructure from scratch would be a massive undertaking. Specialized hangars, diagnostic equipment, and trained technical staff are all essential to keep these jets operational. Without this foundation, even the most advanced aircraft can quickly become grounded. Reliable supply chains for parts and weapons from China would be critical and vulnerable to disruption. Any interruption, whether due to sanctions, political tensions, or logistical issues, could leave Iran's fleet grounded for extended periods. Integrating the J-10C into Iran's mixed air defense network would require technical overhauls. Communication protocols, radar compatibility, and data sharing systems must all be updated to ensure the new jets can operate seamlessly alongside older aircraft and ground defenses. Without seamless integration, the jets risk operating in isolation, limiting their effectiveness. In modern warfare, isolated assets are vulnerable and far less capable than those working as part of a coordinated network. The financial burden is immense, billions for jets, training and support, straining Iran's sanction-hit economy. Every dollar spent on new technology is a dollar not spent on other pressing needs, both military and civilian. Tehran must weigh the strategic benefits against pressing domestic needs. The decision to invest in advanced jets is as much political as it is military, with leaders facing tough choices about where to allocate limited resources. Long-term sustainment costs could become a drain on Iran's defense budget. Spare parts, upgrades, and ongoing training all add up, potentially diverting funds from other critical defense priorities. The J-10C's promise comes with steep operational and economic hurdles. The true cost of modernization is measured not just in money, but in the ability to adapt and sustain these capabilities over time. Success depends on more than just acquisition. It's about mastering a new era of air warfare. Only through careful planning, investment, and adaptation can Iran hope to unlock the full potential of its new fleet. The J-10C's arrival in Iran would narrow but not erase Israel's air advantage. Israeli planners could no longer assume uncontested skies, forcing new tactics and resource allocation. The psychological impact would be profound, eroding Israel's sense of invulnerability. Gulf states like Saudi Arabia and the UAE would see a new threat, likely triggering another arms race. The region could become even more militarized and unstable, with higher risks of miscalculation. China's role as a power broker would grow, challenging US dominance and shifting alliances. The Persian Gulf might become a new arena for great power competition. The J-10C could embolden Iran or provoke preemptive moves from Israel. The region's security landscape would become more complex and volatile. The introduction of the J-10C would raise the stakes for all players. Iran's potential J-10C deal is more than an arms purchase. It's a geopolitical game-changer. It's a direct response to Israeli air dominance and a bold move to reshape the military order. The J-10C offers Iran a credible deterrent, complicating adversaries' plans. Its arrival would accelerate the regional arms race and deepen China's involvement. The Middle East would become a chessboard for great power rivalry, increasing the risk of conflict. The skies would be more contested, the balance of power unsettled. Intended as a deterrent, the J-10C could instead trigger escalation. In this new reality, the region's fragile peace would be more precarious than ever.